Oh, okay. Oh, that was close. That was right on the edge. I can't even stand up. What's he doing? Look at his arm. Oh no! No, we've just hit land. We've just hit land. Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 9 of my Stormworks career mode let's play. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been watching, commenting and clicking that like button as well. It's really helpful, so thank you so much for that, and I really appreciate it. There's plenty more videos on the way, guys. Do let me know if you've got any suggestions or opinions. I am going to try and boost my audio a bit in this episode because I know that it has been a little bit quiet. So I'll try and boost it a bit, and please, let me know if it's good enough, it needs to be any more or less, and I'll continue to try and improve this for you guys. All right. So where we're heading now is actually a lighthouse mission. We're delivering some components to a lighthouse. I believe it's a light bulb and various bits and pieces, and I think it's about 3 boxes. So we're going to do that. We're heading over to the starter base first, actually, because that is where our boxes are being kept, and then we're going to take those and hopefully they won't be swept off the deck when we're underway. I think it's pretty calm right now, so everything should be fine, but that's what we're going to do. Now currently I am researching doors, and that's a pretty boring one but a very useful one to research. Oh no, we've just hit land. Have we got any damage? Alright, quick, shut the engine off. We might be able to save this. Okay. We may actually be able to save this. Let's go and inspect it quickly. Right, that is very lucky. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's what happens often, guys, when you're recording and talking and not concentrating and looking where you're going. Anyway, let's get on with the mission, shall we? What you can see behind me as well, by the way, is a diving gear, and this is something we researched recently, of course. So I didn't know where to put it on the boat, so I've made this little structure here, and then I've put the fueling. That was actually there before, but I've just surrounded it by this guard here. And we've got a space for our diving suit as well. So that could come in very, very useful. But, oh dear, it's already going off to a good start, isn't it? So anyway, let's get on with the mission. Now, while we're on the way to the next mission, and which is about 4 kilometers away at this point, I've been making some big upgrades to the boat that we've made in the last episode. So that is now ready not only for the 2 missions we talked about previously, but actually it's going to be ready for 3 specific missions, which are normally quite hard to do without the right equipment. So I'll go over that later, guys, and if we're lucky, we'll get one of those missions today, and then we can actually take the boat out and do one. But just for now, what I'll do is I'll bring you guys back in when we are over at the starter island, ready to pick up our boxes. I think it's like a replacement motor, replacement light bulb and all that for the lighthouse. So I'll bring you back in when we are over there and ready to get on shore and pick up our supplies. So here we are then, back at the starter base to collect our supplies, and it feels like a long time ago that we were here, but that is where it all began, in that little house up there, if I can just get a good view of that. There's the boat shed with a green roof. From here, as you can see, well, the crates are just 130 metres away, but then the actual lighthouse is 6.5 kilometres from here, so that's not too bad. So I think we'll go in forwards, because I don't want to make it too difficult for myself. And let's try not to crash into the side. It's not very wide, is it, this one? It's quite small, actually. Okay. Oh, that's close. That is close. Let's cut the engine. Good. Little nudge against the side. Here we are then, right back where it all started. Move the shutter up. Okay, here we go. 3, well, 1 crate and then 2 boxes as well. There we go. That might hold it in place fairly well. We'll have to see. And we're ready. Let's get going, shall we? Alright then, so about 6 kilometers in that direction to the lighthouse. Make sure we don't hit the rocks there. Oh, that was close, wasn't it? It's only gentle, though. It's all good. Alright, full clutch. Normally going to do between 40 and 60% throttle, but okay, that box is moving. Yes, it's going to be fine, I think. Oh. Now, if we find any crates here, I'll be very pleased with that. So hopefully we'll keep our eyes out and find one or two crates on the way. So just behind us there is the oil rig that we were on last time, but as you can see our crates and boxes are still with us. It's going a bit crazy, they seem to be vibrating rather a lot, but I think it's okay. And our destination is now only 4.2 kilometers away. I've just seen something over there. Ah, look at that, guys. Now we've got to turn carefully here because we don't want our crates to fall off, but we do have, yeah, look, a crate in the water. Just about 100 meters off the bow at the moment. Oh, can't even see it from this angle. Right, here it is. So I'm just going to slow right down now without stalling, and I'll try and pick it up from the side as always. We can. Now we might actually run into it if I'm not careful, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Quick, don't panic. Yes, okay. To subtract gates, 9 points and 5,500. You know what? Those points there are really useful, so I'm very glad about that. Basically free money. So now we can head on to our destination. Now this mission I believe has an extra part just after you've handed in the crates there. So if we're lucky we'll get that as well. And I don't know if it gives you, extra money, but if the reward is good, it's good. We'll see what we get anyway. Now speaking of research points, guys, let's have a look at how the doors are getting on. 56 seconds to go. Now that is fantastic. So after that, let me see here. We could do, what, of course we want this, don't we, to put the fluid cannon on our boat. So I think I'm going to do that next actually. Yeah, the nozzle, the fluid cannon and the firefighting outfit as well. That's going to be very, very useful. So I think we'll do that next. And then it might actually give us a chance to get one of those missions that we can use our new boat for. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There we go. Doors are complete. Let's get straight on to the next one so we don't waste any time here. Docking doors. We don't need them yet. And custom door. Now, they are very useful as well, but we are not going to do it just yet. We are going to do this. 40 minutes, 14 points is actually pretty good, isn't it? It's quite easy to do, surprisingly, for such good equipment there. So that's already ticking away. Okay, so we're just 1.4 kilometers away from the lighthouse right now, and I'll bring you guys back in when we are just a couple of 100 meters away and ready to approach and complete our mission. Okay, 120 meters away, and that is exactly where we're going right now. So what we've got to do is just put our boxes and crates up onto that platform, if you can just see up there right in front of us. There is a staircase which is really handy, and sometimes you can actually throw the boxes and crates up there if you're careful. Also, we have a second sort of waypoint there to investigate. Oh, we've got to slow right down here. Yeah, that's just about alright. I was a bit late doing that, but I think we're fine. I'll turn the engine off. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, we're going to head over there in a minute where that flare is, and it's part of the same mission, but like a second part to it. So let's put our boxes here, and if I'm lucky, yeah, we can just chuck that over there, and hopefully it will complete. Sometimes you have to go up there and move them around a bit to just complete the mission, but normally it's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, that was close. That was right on the edge. Okay, and one more. Quite fun actually throwing these things. Do enjoy it. Now, if we just check here, yes, so here it says deliver lighthouse equipment 3 out of 3. So we have done that. But now we have the new one, which is investigate the distress flare near the lighthouse. And of course, it's very easy to see just over there. Now, what I'll do is I'll actually take the boat. But why don't we have a quick look here in the lighthouse and just make sure that we're not missing out on any crates inside, which may give us some extra points. I'll just put my flashlight on there. If we're lucky, we'll find something. And also, guys, if you ever do come here, be very careful in career mode, because if you fall off this staircase, it can hurt. Because it's pretty tall, this thing. Now, I don't think I've ever found anything here before, but it's always worth a look, isn't it? Because you never know. And it's quite cool anyway, even if you don't find anything. There is a ladder to get up there, but yes, I don't think we'll be lucky this time. And to be honest, it's quite narrow here, isn't it? So I don't know if any crates would fit. They might do. But that view is incredible. I love this game. I love everything about it. And there is a staircase, as I say. We can just go up here and have a look. That's where the actual light is. That's where our light bulb is going to go from the crates. But it is working. And also we delivered a motor for this pivot or rotor sort of thing here as well. but it never really breaks down. Maybe in the future they'll make it break down, which would be quite cool, just as an extra bit of detail for the mission. But yes, we are going to be careful going down here. I wouldn't sprint if I were you, just in case, if you want to protect your health. But okay, so let's close the door and the boxes and everything. Let's head over and see what that distress flare is all about over there. Okay, now it's not too shallow here, but you do just want to be careful when you go near the rocks, like this one for example. Just any little bits that are jutting out from the sides could be a bit dangerous, but in general it is fine. And of course if you go too quickly you can easily make a mistake as well, so we're going to go nice and slow, keep it really steady. And I'll just position the boat in between these rocks here because it's very calm at the moment. If it is choppy, guys, yes, that would be that would be a bad idea. But I think as we're very calm, it's going to be fine. Now, there's no great way of getting up here as far as I know, but you can just get on any old ledge there and sprint up the side of the rock. Now over here, okay, we have an NPC, and let's find out what we need to do. Oh well, I guess we have to save them. If we just have a look here. Okay, the delivery person has been stranded here after their boat hit the rocks. Rescue the dehydrated survivor and take them to the hospital for treatment. Perfect, we have half an hour to do it, and there's only one person to deliver there. So the hospital is actually near the starter base, that's where it is. Oh, did that boat just move really quickly? That was very strange, but anyway, I think it's okay. Yep, and it is 6 kilometers in that direction. It's basically where we just came from. So not too tricky. Let's put this person on a seat here. And I don't know if their health is going to deplete over time, but let's keep an eye on that. But I think it's going to be alright. And we'll just give it a good amount of revs there. Get straight on with the rest of the mission. And then once we've done this, I believe it's over, it's complete. We get our rewards. And I don't think you get any bonuses for completing it quickly. But if I failed this, for example, I believe I do still get some kind of reward because we have completed part of the mission already. So I don't know exactly how that mission system works, but you often... you want this person here. They don't look that ill, do they? But they don't look too dehydrated. But essentially, if you fail a mission, you can still get a reward sometimes, depending on how much of that mission you have done. And as we have completed the first part, 3 out of 3, and it's got a tick next to it, or even the first 2 parts there, you know, we should get something anyway, but we're not going to fail, we're fine. We have 55 research points at the moment, and this firefighting equipment one is only half an hour away now, so that should be done at some point in this episode. And as I say, hopefully guys, shortly we'll be able to actually take out the new boat and do a mission with it. But what I am going to be careful of is the fuel that we're using, because it has 4 large engines, and I have set up the gears fairly well now, but it can drink a lot of fuel fairly quickly, at least relative to this boat here, so we do have to be careful. For example, if I did this mission here with the new boat, yes, it would be quite expensive. I might end up paying about $4,000 to $6,000 just on using the diesel for this mission here. So it would be much better to use a boat like this, which is really small and light and faster as well. So we're doing, yeah, 28 knots, and we're only doing, what, 65% throttle, and nearly 30 knots is pretty good actually. Very, very stable and easy to use, and we've only used 550 litres of diesel, whereas in the other one we would have used, you know, probably at least 4 times that amount by now. Plus we'd be going a lot slower as well actually. So after this mission guys, I will of course go and show you the upgrades I've made to that boat, and hopefully guys we can take it out and actually do a job with it. I mean, a lot of the learning and the improving that you can do on anything that you make in this game, it is done, you know, after testing, so we really do need to put it to the test and learn about it and then see what we can do to carry on. So I do recommend that guys, especially if you're building something just purely in creative mode for example, but you want it to work properly. Definitely go and spawn in some missions or something and just do those just to see how it responds and how if it does what you want it to do. And also if you come up against barriers when you're building, that's a really good way of like finding things that you want to do to make a vehicle better or a building better. It really gives you some sort of focus points to think about there. So anyway, 1.5 kilometers to go to the hospital, then we're going to get our reward, and I don't think we'll have any crates on the island because we've probably got them already, haven't we, by now guys? But actually, just have we got any crates here in the water? Probably not. But we'll have a quick look. The way to spot them really is because they are small, but they are fairly easy to spot. So if you just look around for a little dark kind of spot in the water, normally that's a crate. Sometimes it is a bit of a rock sticking out, but usually it's a crate and it's fairly obvious. So I don't think we've got any here, unfortunately, but you know, we're always on the lookout, so no worries about that. Okay, now we've dropped our throttle down here. Now there is a jetty just over, if I turn the boat here, there. So that is one place we can dock up, but I think there's two actually. And if we look here on the map, you can see the two jetties there. This is probably the better one to go for, so because it's got the path leading straight up. It doesn't really matter. That might even be another one just over there, but anyway, where are we? Yes, okay, so we're not going to go to that jetty. We're going to go to the one just on the other side of the rock here. It shouldn't be too difficult to get to. Now, what is that? Is that a crate? I think it is, guys. Ah, retrieve sunken research drone. Now, that is a very cool mission to do. We're certainly going to... Oh, do you know what, guys? We can use our new boat for that. We are going to use our new boat for the research drone. And I think that's going to be pretty fun. So that's coming up next, guys. How long have we got to do that mission? Please don't be too short. Oh, yes, an hour and a half is perfect. So we're going to get this done. We won't hang about in that case. We want to make sure we have enough time to do it. But it's again, it's not a difficult mission at all. But I'm going to use one of the new features on the brand new boat just to make it a bit more interesting. Because normally I just tow those things, but yeah, we could do something a bit more interesting with the new features that I've put onto the new boat. Okay, so we're just going to back off on the throttle here, just so we don't cause any damage. We really don't want to do that right now, seeing as we've just done all of this work. I mean, they don't look that poorly, do they? But never mind. Okay, off the throttle. Now, we've probably just overshot it a little bit, but if we're quick, we can jump off the back. Oh, damn. Wow, okay, that happened last time, didn't it? Last time we were here. What's going on, guys? How high we're jumping out the water. That's incredible. And we're crouched as well. Okay, I don't know what's I really don't know what's going on, but that was pretty fun. Anyway, yeah, we might do some testing on that at some point, but it seems to be if you're crouched and you're jumping out the water, it takes you very high. You may not even have to be crouched for that. But anyway, let's... can I stand up? I can't even stand up. What's he doing? Look at his arm. Oh, I really don't know what's going on. Anyway, when we put this person down, it should be all back to normal. Look at the shadow there. This is so comical, this game. Oh, lovely. Okay. 12 points, $7,000 and 2 numerical switch boxes. Very good. Very good as always. Now, there was a crate, wasn't there? So I'm just going to go and actually have a look for that crate right now. And we might be lucky if it was a crate anyway. And we're just going to have a look in these rooms too, just in case. But probably there'll be nothing in here. So don't get too excited about this one. Alright then. Let's head outside and go and find that crate that I spotted earlier. Okay guys, I've just found this crate here, and as you can see, it's near that tree over there if you're interested, if you want to come here in your own games and find out where that is. They're not always here, of course, but you might find one here in the exact same location. So let's just click on it and see what we get. ABS times 2, 9 research points and 4,500. Very, very good. Okay, I'm going to do a quick sweep of the rest of the island in case I find another crate, but I doubt we will find one. So in that case, guys, you'll probably see me back on the boat heading back to base, and then we will have a look at the upgrades I've made to the new boat, and we're going to do that mission to rescue the research drone. Okay, here we are back at the jetty then. Here's the boat, and to be honest, it is almost night time now, and if I can, guys, I will certainly try to do the next mission in the daylight, of course, in the morning. We still have an hour and 23 minutes to do that, and the sun should set and then rise again in about half an hour, so I think we'll have plenty of time. There's nothing to worry about there. And also, if we go into the missions panel right now, you'll see that I've got the install the wall sensor module as well. Now this one does not have a timer, which is really handy, so we can pick and choose whenever we want to do this. And I may well use the new boat to do that if we ever go close to this area during another mission. Maybe we can do 2 missions in one. But anyway, that's for a future episode, so we'll leave that one for now. That's always going to be there until we complete it. Let's head over to base have a look at the new boat, and then head off in the morning when it's sunny, and we can actually have a look at the at this mission here to save the research drone. Research for the fluid cannon will be done soon, so I'll put that onto the boat before we leave. And as well, I actually need to sort out some kind of way of fueling the boat, because I didn't actually add any kind of system to fuel it up yet. So at the moment, it won't be going anywhere. So let's head into the workbench. Right then, so I suppose this is technically stage 4 of the boat, but as you can see already, there are a couple of very obvious changes. Now, first of all, guys, I've actually added now I don't know what you'd call this, but it's some kind of crane or davit, or I don't know, but it's basically a large U-shaped arm with a winch on the back here. And this is for lifting. So the idea is that it actually folds onto the deck or out over the water. And then if it's out on the water, it'll actually rest on these sort of brackets here. And the winch is a 100-meter winch down there. It has a spotlight as well. It's fixed in place with these electrical connectors. It has its own lights. It's got a couple of weight blocks there so it can sink down to the bottom. And yeah, I think that's going to be quite effective actually. So there's one thing I want to do to it which we can't do yet. So what I want to do is have this extendable in size. So I want to have some tracks here, and they're going to extend out the length, hopefully another sort of 10 blocks or so, maybe a couple of meters. Because the thing is, the anchor is big, and this is probably going to work, but it may not lift the anchor up enough to clear the deck. So hopefully, guys, even without the extensions, it should work fine. But in the future, when we have unlocked our tracks and pistons, we should be able to lift it up over the stern onto the deck without actually dragging it on there and causing some damage and scratching the paint off and all the rest of it. Okay, so anyway, that's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that upgrade. Here is the towing winch still, and I'm not sure if we need it anymore because one, it's kind of in the way if we're dragging an anchor over here, and second of all, it's not really needed now because we have this winch instead, which does exactly the same thing, except it's longer and it's 100 meters long. So I don't know if we might actually get rid of this one at some point, but for now I've left it there just in case. But also, guys, as I was saying earlier, I was going to do the research drone mission in a slightly different way to how I normally do it. And I was thinking, why don't we just actually lift it out of the water and put it onto the deck? Now, normally, as I say, I just tow it. But in this case, it'd be a good excuse to get the boat out, test it out, see how it works. And it may be the right size to lift clean out of the water and fit onto the deck. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll actually use this in the morning, guys. And hopefully, that's going to go very well. But where do we control this thing? Well, over here, you'll see I've added this. Now, I've added a bit of a walkway around the side here, which you can access just from, you go up this ladder and climb around there. And then you get into here. And that basically just controls not anything else, but just the crane that we've made over there. So it's quite a simple setup. I can't even remember what most of these buttons do. I think it's got light controls. Oh yeah, so not only does it control the crane, but also there is a spotlight underneath, which is very powerful. And we don't have a pivot to turn it horizontally yet, but vertically we can point it up and down, and it works really well. So we'll test that out for sure. But that's those upgrades. Anyway, I've also got these things, which essentially are like rests for it when it's back on the deck, because it will sit on these normally when it's not doing anything, when we spawn it in. So that's that. Now, other upgrades I've made. Well, actually, I have done a couple of things which are really, really beneficial to this boat. First of all, I've actually improved how the gears work on this boat, and they're just under the floor here inside the keel. So if I press the select button here, now this here is the first box which comes out from the engine. So that is 3 to 2, and then it switches to a 2 to 1. And then the second box is a 6 to 5 and a 1 to -1, because that's reverse, of course. So that has actually improved the boat a lot. Not only is it a lot more fuel efficient, but it's also a lot faster. And I've still got my efficiency gear, which I think I showed you in the previous episode. But if you use that efficiency gear at full speed, we can get about 17 knots and maintain reasonable fuel economy as well. Now, another upgrade I've made here is the generator. Because before, I don't think I talked about it, but I had 4 small generators, 1 for each engine. And I just found it was pretty useless, to be honest. It wasn't very good. So what I've done is I've added a medium generator, which are much heavier and more expensive. But, we can afford it. As you can see, I've got, what have I got? $63,000 nearly. So that's fine. And I've put it on a gearbox. Now, what gear ratio do I have it on here? 3 to 1. So basically the ratio is 3 on this side of the gearbox and then 1 on this side of the gearbox over here. And it does actually generate a good amount of power there, but of course when you do apply the generator to an engine, it then reduces the speed because a lot of the power from the engines is going into that generator. So that's why I've put it on a clutch here, so we don't always have to use it. We can just engage the generator whenever we like, or we can have it completely disengaged and not working at all, so we get maximum performance out of the engines. Now, another massive upgrade to this boat has actually been to reduce the size of the propellers. I've still got 2, as you can see, but if you remember from last time, they were much bigger. They were the giant propellers, and they had big propeller guards as well, but these ones are way smaller. That is actually called the large propeller, but it's a lot smaller than the giant ones, and yes, it's essentially a lot lighter and easier to turn for the engines. So I am achieving much higher speed, much better fuel economy using these. Now, it's not just because of the propeller itself that we've found improvements. It's also because of drag, I think. The previous guards, as I say, were much bigger, and even the rudders here were much bigger as well, and just everything was so much bigger, and there's a lot of drag in the water. And a lot of weight as well. So what we've done is we've really cut out so much weight and drag, and I reckon that's why we're getting a lot more speed and economy as well. So that has been a really good improvement, and of course here we've still got the same amount of turning force essentially. I've actually taken off the rudder right at the stern here. Sorry it's a bit dark, guys, but yeah, I've taken off 1 rudder from the very back of the boat, and we've just kept 6, 3 on either side, and that is more than enough actually. So we are possibly going to make these into control surfaces at some point. They just look a bit better. But they are perfect for steering this boat, so I'm actually very pleased with this upgrade overall. Now in the bridge, I haven't made too many upgrades here. I've just added a dial for that generator. Now if we look at this 4-gauge instrument panel here, that used to be for the old generators because I had 4 of them. But of course we're not going to use that now, so I'll probably leave it there for a bit just in case we want to use it for something else. But this generator dial over here is brand new, and also that is the battery gauge. I don't think I said that last time, but there it is. We've also taken out 1 light from in here because we just didn't need it, and to be honest it does hinder performance quite a bit. And then in here I've added some lighting for this room as well. It hasn't upgraded much, but I have put in a medical bed in addition to the ordinary bed, and yes, I've got 4 lights, 2 in this room and 2 in this room, of course with their own switches as well. I think that 1 switch controls all of them actually. And then also in the room down here I've actually added 4 lights to this, and we have our diving gear and scuba gear. Now I'm thinking this room would be very good as a sort of equipment room actually. So again, nothing in here at the moment, but there should be plenty of equipment and just bits and pieces we can keep in here for practical use, and they're very easily accessible from the deck where we are going to be working a lot of the time as well. Now that blue rectangle you can see there, guys, is where I'm going to put my fluid connectors so we can refuel the boat. But I'll do that off camera, guys, and then I'll show you that when we're about to start our next mission. Now these things here are brand new air vents, and actually they're not in use at the moment, so I may not keep them, but essentially they were going to be used to be closer to the engines because the engines are of course right down here, and it's a long way for the air to go because the air is currently brought in here and then brought right back to the engines. I thought if they were closer we may not need any pumps for them, but it turns out we actually do still. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet, but I'll leave them there until I've decided in the future. So that is all the upgrades done, guys, for stage number 4, and next we're going to wait till dawn where we are going to then go on to do our research drone mission with this boat, and hopefully it's going to work very well. See you in a minute.